What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I just finished watching episode 2 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. My reaction is under my YouTube memberships. That's right, it's for members only. If you are not aware, or if you're new here, I've got 2 levels of memberships over there. These memberships are like little perks for members only that everyone cannot get. So for level 1, I have a $2.99 as level 1. That's going to get you priority replies from me, special polls, and live streams. Level 2 is for $4.99, and you're going to get all of my uncut try not to laughs, all of my reactions to all of the shows that I may watch, and all of the movies that I may watch as well. So go over there and check that out. Now, this was a funny episode to me, but I enjoyed every minute of it. So apparently we got to see who the new Captain America is. And he's this military dude. So he's not Steve, but I guess he's been kind of, he doesn't have the superpowers that he has, but he's got the speed and, you know, he's really precise with what he does, but he's not Steve, right? So they get into this big fight with the dudes. Well, first of all, Sam runs into Bucky, or Bucky runs into him, and they are just bickering the whole time, and it is just hilarious. So, excuse me. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So they're going back and forth, and he basically is mad at Sam because Sam gave up the shield. And Sam is just like, look, you can't come over here and tell me what I did or didn't do or why I didn't do it, you know? And he's upset because, you know, it's like, why would you give up the shield? Right, why would you do that? Well, he didn't think that it was fit for him. He didn't feel right having the shield, so he gave it up. So they're going back and forth, and Sam is just like, look, I don't have time for this. I'm about to go on this mission to go catch these guys. So he's explaining to Bucky what these guys are, and they're going back and forth about the triple bad or the triple something. And he was like, there's these other guys, but then they're talking about wizards. And he was like, there's no such thing. He was just like, there's Doctor Strange. I was like, well, Doctor Strange is not a wizard, he's a sorcerer. He's like, a wizard is a sorcerer without a hat, or the other way around. Anyway, from then on, I was like, oh my God, these two are insane. So they're in a plane, and Bucky has a staring problem. Like, he just loves staring at people. So they're in the military plane. They're getting ready to go to where he's going. And they're just sitting there staring at each other. So they end up, of course, both of them jumping off of a plane. They end up finding the guys with the masks. They're super soldiers. So they go in there, and Sam ends up scanning. Like, Bucky thinks that he knows what he's talking about, but Sam scans the trucks that they're looking at, and Sam saw 2 people. No, Bucky saw 2 people, but Sam saw like more than 5 or something like that, and a hostage. So they go after the trucks. Bucky gets into one of the trucks, and it's just so weird to me because he gets into the truck that's in front of another one. So I'm just like, they're not watching him go inside of this truck. Nobody's doing anything. Like, it's just weird. So they go into the truck where they think they found the hostage. The hostage ends up being one of them. So she's like kicking his butt all over the place. Long story short with that, they basically got their butts handed to them. During that fight, Captain America comes with his sidekick. What is his name? I forgot. It's like it's not Bullet Train, but it's something like that, because after they get into that fight, and now the new Captain America is pretty precise with his shield, but it's not, you know, I mean, he's not a superhero. So he eventually has to save his partner with the shield. So basically, they all fought each other. Bucky and Sam fly off the truck. Sam has to save them. Now they're walking down this road, And here they come in this military truck. And they're sitting there talking, they're going back and forth. They don't even want to engage with them because they're like, yo, like, this isn't even Steve. Like, this is not the real Captain America. Like, why are we even giving him a time of day type of thing? So they're talking and they're trying to figure out, okay, well, how did you guys get here? And they're having this whole conversation. So then Bucky, I guess he's like, well, who are you? Like, who are you? And he says his last name, but he's like, I'm gonna need more than just, your last name. And he says what his name is, and it's not Bullet Train, but it's something to that effect. And Bucky gets so upset. He's like, all right, stop. Get me off of here right now. Like, he has had it with these two. So they end up getting off. And they're talking, and Bucky's like, there's somebody that I need you to meet. Like, now that we know what we're up against, and they know who Bucky used to be. So they end up going to this house. It looks like a ran down house. There's a guy in this house named Isaac, right? Isaac is somebody who Bucky used to be in the military with. Now, clearly, this guy is a lot older than what Bucky looks like, but Bucky's 100 and something years old. So this guy is actually a super soldier. Like, he is a super soldier because he gets upset. Like, I guess he says something about tearing off his arm. He was like, I see that he grew it back. And he gets upset when he's talking with him because he's just like, I try to do the right thing. It put me in jail for 30 years. He was really upset. And Bucky's like, there's a lot more of us out there. And that's when he starts getting upset. And he throws like this tin can. But the way that he throws it lets Sam know, like, oh, shoot, he's also a super soldier. So, they leave the house because at this point he's upset. So now Sam is really upset because he's like, yo, why didn't you tell me about him? You're telling me that this whole time there's been a super soldier here. Did Steve know? He's like, nobody knew. Bucky's like, nobody knew. He didn't want to be bothered. He's been through enough. So while they're in the middle of the street talking, the cops come. And it almost kind of looks like a bit of racial profiling, but then when the one cop comes to the other one and tells him who Sam is, they're like, oh shoot, I'm so sorry, and they're apologizing. And then more cops come, and then they end up telling Bucky that he's got a warrant out for his arrest because he didn't make his court mandated therapy. So now they take him away. Sam is just like, what the heck is going on? So now Sam ends up going to court, to the courthouse or to the jail or wherever he's at. And the therapist shows up. And then he's like, thank you for bailing him out. She was like, it wasn't me who bailed him out. Captain America comes to the door, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, Bucky's going to be so upset when he finds out that he was the one who bailed him out. He was like, he's too much of an asset to be kept in jail. Like, we can't have that. So anyway, so then the therapist is like, all right, you two need to meet with me now for release or whatever. So basically, Captain America was like, he can't keep doing this. Like, we need him out here type of thing. I'm kind of not feeling Captain America. Like, I don't know whether things are going to change later on or not. Of course, you guys all probably seen this. But I'm not feeling him right now. Like, he just seems like he's real... I don't know. I don't want to say too much because this is only the second episode that I'm watching. But anyway, so they're sitting in here and now they're both having therapy. And this was so funny to me. So the therapist is sitting there and she's basically trying to help them figure out what their problem is, like, and why are they bumping heads so much. So neither one of them wants to be there. And all of a sudden, they're like, all right. The therapist is like, all right, let me do something that I do with couples. You're going to have to face each other and look into each other's eyes. And they're like, oh, yes, this is my favorite thing. And I'm sitting here cracking up because I'm like, Bucky loves to stare. So this is going to be nothing to him. So now they're both facing each other. And the whole time they're like having a staring contest. And I'm like, yo, these two just cannot get along. So, so there is one part where they're back in the, before I continue on with that, there is a part where they're back in the military plane after they have that fight. And Bucky's just really sitting there contemplating on stealing that shield back. And he's like, look, we can't, Sam is like, we can't do that. The last time we did that, I was like, on the run for 2 years type of thing. So anyway, back to the therapy session. So they're staring at each other, and it's the funniest thing ever. And so there's when we find out why Bucky feels the need to push Sam to get the shield back. And he's like, Steve thought highly of you. He felt like, you were worth it, that you felt like, he just felt the world of you. He was like, and maybe he was wrong. And he was like, if Steve was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me. And so I guess he kind of is holding on to that because there's some type of connection with him feeling like he trusted Sam so much that Bucky can trust him. Like there was something there that bothered him that much. So anyway, so they went on to figure out, how they were going to get to these bad guys and everything. So after that, they're talking, they leave the jail. And of course, Captain America's outside waiting for them. So they're talking and everything. And he's just like, look, I don't know how you guys are doing your thing. Sam is like, but basically, y'all got to go through all this stuff because you're military. We're free agents. We don't got to go through that. So then Steve was just like, all right, well, a word of advice, stay out of my way. So I was just like, oh, okay. All right. Well, is he good or is he bad? I guess I'm going to find out later on. But, yeah, so things are going to get really, really interesting, I assume. I don't know. There's a lot of things happening right now. So the bad guys, of course, they got away on a plane. So they're flying out and they're on the run. So yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. But those are my thoughts. Hope you guys enjoyed my review. Leave your comments down below. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. Hit like, share, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified whenever I pop up on your feed. I'll see you guys later. Toodles!